having read somewhere that if a person is a Reiki master, one needs to start every Reiki session using the master symbol, then follow with any other symbol. I thought if doing distance Reiki, one would start with the distance symbol and then add the others as needed. So, does it matter which symbol one starts using in a session?
So, again, that's going to be one of those inner guidance question or answers. And depending on the Reiki lineage that you are working with, there can be different traditions in how teachers teach around this question. And also, there can be different ways that each individual decides they like to practice. Reiki is not responding specifically because of the rituals that we use. Like it wouldn't say, oh, you should have done the master symbol first. I'm not coming. So I always think of it in those terms. And also because you guys, truthfully, I really am, it's just my nature to kind of do things that need to be done the way they need to be done in the moment. And so when I first practiced Reiki, I was actually, before I started working in the ICRT, the tradition I was originally taught was very strict that way. That you would do this symbol first, this symbol next, and do it the same way every time, use the same hand positions every time the same way. Well, then when I started studying Reiki with William Rand and his style of teaching, he really teaches, well, here are many different ways you can do this, or here is a way you can do this, and then also clearly writes. And then as you go further into your own practice, learn about it and listen to Reiki to guide you and your guidance to guide you. And so that was a whole level of freedom for me because it was a really natural way for me to work with Reiki. And again, fits into that idea of we have moved from the outside authority of this is exactly how you do things to I believe Reiki is teaching us to go into our inner authority and to listen within. On the other hand, we have a lot of people with a lot of experience that say, hey, if you do it this way, it works great. And it activates it, and here's a way you can do it, and here is a consistent practice you can use that will activate your access to Reiki. And so those practices, I have definite, even though I talk a lot about Reiki on the fly, and I do Reiki on the fly, I have a lot of very specific practices that I like to practice consistently. I have a lot of consistencies in how I do things. And so you get to decide that. And I think it's different all the time, whether you are, you start with a master symbol or you're guided to start with a distance symbol or a karuna symbol, or you're guided to just say Reiki on. Mrs. Takata taught that, Reiki on was also a way to activate Reiki. So a lot of times what happens is that there's a couple things when people are teaching about Reiki. Some of it is that, you can't say with everything that you write, do it this way or do it any other way. So you just write it as in, here's the ways that I've been doing it. Here's a good way to do it. And then also sometimes people are writing to say, this is exactly how it's done. So you as a Reiki practitioner and you having your own attunements get to listen for what's true for you. And you get to follow your inner authority and your inner guidance. And I think that, Cheryl, it's so much of what I started off talking about. Those of us raised in these other generations were taught, do things exactly a certain way. This is the right way to do it, and it's the one right way to do it. And also, I don't know about you guys, but I was also taught if I don't do it that way and I'm doing it wrong, it's not going to work. I have to do it exactly this way or it's not working. Now what I see is we have many really good teachers teaching a lot of different ways to practice Reiki, a lot of really good lineages and the lineages that are teaching specific ways to practice, they are beautiful in the way they're doing it that way. So we teach specific ways you can practice, and then also the ability to listen within and decide. So all of it is accurate, and then it all comes down to you listening inwardly to what is your way. How is Reiki teaching you? Because your inner knowledge is just as wise as all the rest of us. So, thank you.